Well, hello, traders and investors. I'm L.A. Little, and this is your daily NeoTA wrap. Take a look at these markets. We're doing it from a neoclassical perspective. It means we're looking at supply and demand on the charts, and we're using that information to make decisions about how to position ourselves and to be consistently profitable. I do this show 4 times a week, Monday through Thursday, broadcast there before 10 o'clock Eastern Time, archived on YouTube under the channel, L.A. Little. Haven't subscribed and you want to, just reach up in the right hand corner and do so. Anytime I push public content, you'll get a notification. As far as what happened in the markets today, red pretty much across the screen. Didn't get an escape anywhere. Usually you'll see something green. You got a little bit of green here this evening on the Nikkei, but for the most part the markets were down. They were down all day. Not that much. I mean, when you look at percentages, not that big of a push to the downside. The Russell being the more volatile one, down almost 1%. Silver, gold also down on the day. As far as the charts, starting here with the broad market S&P, more range. We really don't see much different here. So, got a range consolidation still going on. Hasn't really changed. You could trade down to 2250. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just a range, and I don't see anything here today that gives us any cause for concern. Kind of a bearish engulfing, but these ranges are so small on a day-to-day basis. It really doesn't matter. This week is consolidation. You had ECB today. Dovish talk there. You got the swearing in of the president tomorrow. It's probably going to be pretty quiet. Probably just go out and, why would anybody position tomorrow in front of whatever is coming next week? So I doubt we're going to see very much happen on these indexes tomorrow. IXIC, the NASDAQ, same thing, looks exactly the same. Again, both of those showing bearish engulfing type patterns. Almost the same on the NDX. Still no volume pickup. Actually set a new high today with actually a little bit more volume. So that says it can test again. And then Russell. And the Russell is the one that did push the downside. Now, the Russell is the one to be watching because this is the more interesting of all the indexes, right? You had this tight range that was up here for a long time. It finally gave way. Then you got the immediate retest regen, right? That's a bearish retest regen. And what happens today? It starts to regen. In other words, it starts to push to the direction of the break. Now, if it continues that, it's going to get even more interesting because then it's going to say, hey, maybe this thing's going to get a deeper retrace. So today it pushed into the bullish retest regen. Right, so you had a bearish one. I'll draw it in again. You had a bearish retest regen here. You pushed into it yesterday. That was this bar right there. Today, you go back the other way and you're trying to regenerate to the downside. And what does it do? It comes into the bullish retest regen here. So now the question is will this thing flip it around and take it right back up again? And this is the battle that's taking place. These are the tests that are taking place. Volume light on the test, right, compared to the breakout bars volume. So, to me, this just looks like, and actually it looks like it's that bar. This just looks like a battle between the two retest regens, and one of them's going to win at some point. And I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow to see this thing flip around, just head right back up. It's that kind of market right now, and the overall trend, of course, has been up, so it's a consolidation. Let's see if there's anything. I didn't really get a chance to look at much today, so I'm going to pop over just quickly to see if there's anything on the major sectors that's worth looking at. And I'm just going to pop them up, show all charts here, flip through them, and see what we got. So IBB still in that lower range, can't get out. That's not a good sign. Certainly not for it, not for the NDX. ITB also can't do anything. I'm going to pull over the weekly charts and we'll flip through those as well. So again, I don't see anything concerning here, but I don't see anything happening that's of value. IYR, a little bit of a retrace today, had a big bounce, now got a little retrace going on. Again, doesn't tell me much. IYT, so this is the transports. Now the transports, as we've been talking about, are pretty much stretched in terms of the duration of the move higher. They were one of the first ones to take off, if you remember, not on the Trump election, but even before. And so, this has been bullish quite a long time. You see all the trend changes on the way up, trend reconfirmations, right? All these arrows you see. And today tried to push higher and couldn't, right? Had a little volume, tried to push higher, kind of flipped it around at the end. It's into this big bar and about the same volume. Yeah, I don't know. I think this has the same issue, right? Needs to reset. And that's what we've seen in a bunch of these. Stocks. This one also is kind of stretched in terms of MTTF. Today you get volume, but a failure. That one's going to try to come in tomorrow. XLB. And XLB, bearish engulfing, no volume. It fells at the swing point high, but it's already actually gotten over that, so that's irrelevant. And that low is 51.19. Yeah, nothing here either. That actually looks like it can try and trade lower tomorrow. XLE, still struggling. This one can't seem to find a bottom still. And although it's reset, it hasn't been able to regenerate to the top side. XLF. So the financials yesterday finally got their resets 2 days ago, actually. And now a little under over and a bearish engulfing. I mean, can you get more mixed up than that? That one actually looks like it can go either way. XLI got a decent push over the highs today. Yeah, it actually held, but it had no volume. And this one doesn't look bad. Kind of stretched on the MTTFs on the intermediate term time frame, as you see here, 75%. This is the sort of thing that it can continue to stretch, but it's kind of getting long in the tooth. XLK fails at the high from 3 days ago, a little bit more volume. That says it can test again. XLP. This is not a place I'd be playing XLP. XLU is probably the same. And yeah, it's just a mess. XLV. This one kind of goes and comes with biotech. It's a little bit stronger in biotech. If you remember, biotech's range, that range that you saw at the bottom of this bar, biotech is down here. This one's up above it still. So it is fading back in, can trade lower. This one needs a reset as well on the MTTFs. And looks like it can carry through a little bit tomorrow. XLY. And that there's nothing wrong with it. It's just hanging. The whole thing's hanging. So unless you're in stocks that are moving, most of these indexes, most of these sectors are just hanging there trying to do their resets. Once they do their resets, then they'll be ready to try and take off again. And I've been talking about them all. Here's a 73er on this XLY, so you can see the resets that are needed and just haven't taken place yet. I don't think you're going to see much happen tomorrow. I think it's going to be a quiet day. Everything's going to ride on next Monday. Next Monday, actually all next week, we're probably going to see a bumpy ride as volatility probably picks up a little bit. More than likely, this is going to do what I've been saying for quite a while, and that is when all this is over, when all is said and done, you're going to see this stuff resolve to the upside, most likely. And if I go back to the S&P and pull it over to a weekly, you can see how strong this has been, hanging up there, consolidating still here. And if you go over to the monthly chart, you've got the stretch, right? I mean, you got the perfect type of breakout, right? You get a breakout here, right? That's the breakout. Once you get over, what does it do? It comes back, does the immediate retest. And what does that do? Regenerates. That's the sort of thing you want to see happen. Sure, it's stretched. It has been stretched. Can it stretch a lot more? We've seen that before. For all I know, we're down here in the beginning stages of another move. We don't know. What we do know is that once we get the resets, on enough of these sectors, along with the indexes, that's when this thing can move again. And that's when we'll find out if, in fact, it's going to. You got to take some positions if you haven't, and you always want to take them in the direction of the trend. And that is up, not down. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you next week. Take care. Good night.